your section for a menu and order right from your seat. Also, fans, FC Tucson invites you to visit the shop for all your MLS Desert Diamond Cup and FC Tucson gear, including cooler weather gear. From polos to training t-shirts, the merchandise tent has everything you need to show your support for FC Tucson. The tent is located south of the main grandstand near the concessions plaza. Fans, as they make their way to the field, please welcome to the North Stadium at Kino Sports Complex the players from Chivas USA and the New England Revolution.
From the North Stadium, the Kino Sports Complex, it's the final day, final game of the day, round 2 of the 2014 Desert Diamond Cup. Salutations from South Arizona, Neil Sika with you as we have New England and Chivas USA playing here in round robin play. The New England Revolution coming in off a playoff appearance in 2013. Scoreless tie with Real Salt Lake in their first game on Wednesday. Chivas USA 1-1 tie with the host FC Tucson. A pretty good preseason so far under new coach Wilmer Cabrera, who just sold back to Major League Soccer a few days ago this week. And they come out looking to reestablish their identity, while a young Revs team building under the direction of Jay Heaps found their way into the playoffs, where they lost in the Eastern Conference semifinal last year to Sporting Kansas City, the eventual champion. Speaking of the Revs, as you see them ready to break the huddle, this will be the lineup they go with. The man in spearmint green is Bobby Shuttleworth, who started the majority of the season for the Revs last year, but it was Matt Reese, the now retired and legendary Revs keeper Matt Reese, who finished out the season on a run that took them to the postseason. The back four consists of Donnie Smith. He'll be on the left side. He is a second-year player out of Charlotte. Jose Gonçalves, the MLS Defender of the Year, a best 11 selection, an outstanding acquisition, is paired in the middle with A.J. Soares. So you've got the Portuguese central defender and the 4-year veteran out of Cal, Soares. The right back is Kevin Alston, 6-year pro out of Indiana. The midfield consisting of rookie Patrick Mullins. He was the 11th pick in the draft out of Maryland, fell all the way to 11. Some thought he went higher. He won back-to-back Herman trophies. Lee Wynn, along with Scott Caldwell, who got a lot of minutes last year in that holding role out of Akron. He was a homegrown signing. Kellen Rowe had a fine year, and so did Diego Fagundes. He's got his green card, but born in Uruguay, and he has been sensational. Only 19. He scored 13 goals last year, 8 in the last 15 regular season games. Teal Bunbury just acquired this past week. For draft picks, he comes over from Sporting Kansas City, who oddly enough was here earlier in the month. And a fresh start for the Akron product, the 4th pick in the draft in 2010. For Chivas USA, they'll be in the white and blue. They'll start Larry Jackson in goal. He's a trialist. He was with the Rapids last season in the preseason. He's out of Santa Clara. In front of him, he'll have a back four that consists of Eric Avila, who normally has played the midfield role in his MLS career. He'll work at a fullback spot with Bobby Burling and Andrew Jean-Baptiste, acquired in a trade with Portland. Tony Lockheed, the New Zealand international, is the left back for Chivas as they'll kick off. And a flick of the ball from Thomas McNamara, who's a rookie out of Clemson. He was the 20th pick in the draft for Chivas. They've got Matthew Fondy up top, along with Eric El Cubo Torres, a very nice acquisition from his loan from Guadalajara when he scored 7 goals last season. Got it now, 1v2, and he will take a tap at Shuttlesworth, who will gobble it up for the first time tonight. Rest of that Chivas lineup: Mauro Rosales on the opposite side, the far right side of the field, coming over from Seattle. So instrumental when he set foot at CenturyLink Field or anywhere for the Sounders in his stay there. And then the midfield, Osvaldo Minda, pairing with another trialist, Daniel Fragoso, the Spaniard, 14 years as a pro. Played all over, mainly in the 3rd division in Spain. To round out the lineup for Wilmer Cabrera, Rapids assistant under Oscar Pareja the last couple of years, but a long-time coach of the U17 team, almost 5 seasons. As the flag goes up, Jair Marufo is our head referee. Was the 4th official earlier in the day in a 2-0 Chicago Fire victory over FC Tucson. A Deshaun Brown goal late inside the final 20 minutes. The difference as Colorado beat Real Salt Lake 1-0. Final game of the night, both teams with a draw on Wednesday in their opening day of action. This is Ferragoso across. Alston, comeback player of the year after his bout with CML, form of leukemia. Actually saw him out for the better part of 3 months, and then really the remarkable recovery just to get back and play. As it works across. Rowe. Brief glance is Avila, who's playing that right back role. You've got Lockheed at the left. Andrew Jean-Baptiste and Bobby Burling, tallest of the center backs. Avila playing on up. Here's McNamara, sprightly figure. Very, very good career at Clemson. Alston heads back into the middle for Lee Wynn. A New England team that really was known through the Steve Nicol era as a team that didn't miss the playoffs and then didn't qualify for 3 straight years before they built back up, drafted well. And under Jay Heap's direction, now entering his 3rd season, they were back in the playoffs last year. Great stretch to close it out. In a tightly contested race, they ended up in the 3rd slot. Point here, point there, you could easily finish 6th or 7th. Jean-Baptiste with the run of Bunbury, stalking him, wears 10 in his new Revolution blue. About with some injuries at the tail end of his Kansas City career. He's excited. We'll see how it goes, too, playing on the Gillette Stadium turf. Alston. Win. Here is the acquisition of last year. Gonçalves, the Portuguese central defender. What a pickup. Not only the accolades he earned, but being on the field, carrying through, even pulled his hamstring in that crucial final game of the regular season and managed to go 60 minutes on it. Revs finished a home-and-home with Columbus to complete the campaign and won them both. Source off the cross and into the New England bench, which is absent one new assistant coach in Tom Sohn, and to have emergency hip surgery. He's doing better, and we send our regards. Joining the staff now, the longtime Revolution defender and Duke standout, Donnie Smith, hoping to earn some minutes in 2014. Was on a Charlotte team a few seasons back that made it all the way to the College Cup final, lost to North Carolina. Here's Fondy, second year with Chivas, fourth year as a pro. He lost it there in the cloud of coverage from Caldwell. Fondy was a find in the Pittsburgh Riverhound system, USL Pro. Here's Minda slipping one on through, and Rosales, a tempting ball that in the end it's Shuttleworth to come out and gobble up. That'll be the one question heading in. Shuttleworth, who'd had a lot of minutes for the Revs, but Reese taking him over late in the season. They brought in Brad Knighton to challenge for that #1 spot, so it's still very much in the air. Win. Revs going into the win in this first half, and Fagundes lurking behind Burling. He's able to get his boot to it as Larry Jackson was out a good 12 yards. It's pushed wide. They toss around that nickname, the league's Justin Bieber, but he's just a good soccer player, bar none. Tied for 5th in the league in goals scored, Fagundes. There you get another look. That ball into the wind by Wynn. One heck of a job. Or another guy that's become a pretty prevalent cog in that midfield. Here's Rosales steaming forward. He finds Fondy. Stop and go against Soares. Left it on back. Left off by Rosales. Ferragosa awaits for Lockheed to pour on in. Returning Dominda. Avila. Position a little bit out of his norm from his days at UC Santa Barbara and FC Dallas. He had to hold off the quick and agile Fagundes. And the foul gives it back to the Revs. Well, Chivas has started positively here in the preseason. The first signing to come in was Elbofo Batista. Adolfo has scored a couple of times in the preseason. There were some out there thinking it could have been more prevalent a few years back. The 38 cap player from Mexico, 34 years old, but he has shown that he, along with his attacking brethren, might add a little spice to a team that won just 6 games a year ago. Bunbury slipped, so did Baptiste. The Yukon Husky off to Minda. He's got some bite in that midfield. Led the league in cautions. In 2012, he had 13 in his 3rd year with Chivas USA. Here's Wynn, found a seam. A good ball on from Caldwell, and now slipped it, found Fagundes, and he missed. How did he do so? A late slide out by Jackson, but Fagundes has twice now had great looks on the opening 9 minutes. Started on another fine pass this time win the recipient, and then he finding Fagundes once more. Alston. Mullins. Grew up in New Orleans. And then shined at Maryland. As with any forward of his pedigree, the question is, can he do it at the next level? Revs feel with their picks, they got a steal. Another long ball over the top as Chivas kind of working a high line, and Burling and Baptiste have had trouble with the speed of Fagundes win and of the like, and there's a foul inside the arc. So the Revs, despite going into the win, going right at it. And in minute 10, a free kick. Revs with 3 ties in the preseason so far. And we're in Bradenton. There's Larry Jackson. Lee Wynn. Another fine season, 6 assists last year. Kellen Rose behind him. But it's Wynn for goal, and he scores. Through the wall and past a ducking Larry Jackson. And on the free kick, Lee Wynn gives the Revs a 1-0 lead in the 11th minute. So the 10-year veteran, the 27-year-old, when he came back, was acquired in a weighted lottery. Sent that hooking on through the right side of the Chivas defense. And into the goal. So an early goal, which should open things up. Long stalemate in the previous game, and Chicago controlling pretty much everything against FC Tucson all day long. Foul gives the Goats a free kick. It's Rosales. In his final season in Seattle, led the league with 5 game-winning assists, 8 in total. He'll poach this one. It's off the forehead of Kellen Rowe. His second year was pretty darn good. He had 7 goals and 8 assists. The ball sent back over the top, and Shuttleworth with the goal kick. Temps got as high as 77 degrees here today in Tucson. Spectacular sunshine. Now the night setting in. Mullins sunk into the middle there. Avila runs it down. Back toward the midfield circle, roll to Alston. Revs showing they're going to bring everyone forward when they get the opportunity. Scorch that across looking for Bunbury. And it's a Larry Jackson goal kick. Jackson, who served last year as an undergraduate assistant coach for his alma mater. Grew up in East Palo Alto. Third keeper in camp behind Dan Kennedy and Tim Melia. Gonsalves. Working it around on the back was Shuttleworth. He got 22 starts last year, including 20 straight from the end of March to the beginning of August. Matt Reese spent some time away. His father-in-law, of course, was injured in the Boston Marathon bombings. Made a recovery, great story. And then finished a strong and superb career, leading the team into the playoffs. Another ball that got out of the range of Rowe, so it'll be Avila to throw in. Mentioning a 6-win team a year ago, 20-8 rounding out the 3 in the win-loss tie column. 26 points, was 9th in the West. Gave up more goals than anyone in the league, 67. First quarter hour about to come to a close. The 11th minute free kick from Wynn, giving New England the lead. They've had the better start. Caldwell. Off across, Jose Gonçalves and Shuttleworth. Scott Caldwell, even though a homegrown player, he decided to go where Caleb Porter breeds MLS players. That's Akron. As Mullins is dragged down, there was an interesting dichotomy between Caldwell being a homegrown signing, Fagundes, and the difference of Fagundes blossoming as Bunbury and Jackson colliding there. And the ball sent away. And a quick free kick over the top by Mullins. But whereas in a case, college isn't the benchmark for every young homegrown player or academy kid in Major League Soccer to earn their minutes, but Caldwell found it a better transition for him as opposed to Fagundes, who came right on the scene and was so dynamic. Here's Wynn in the box off the long throw from Alston. Hung up there, and Minda got up. Ferragoso looks for Fundy, and Fundy is brought down. He's 24, he's from Foster City, California. And he gives way for the 31-year-old Daniel Fragoso from Mataró, Spain. To restart, back to Baptiste, Minda, and now off to Bobby Burling. Given away, and Bunbury on the break. And a good job by Baptiste to force a little bit of contact and ride Bunbury off the ball, who's holding his right side a little bit after that. Jackson gobbled it. Minda. Fondy. Looking over the top and sent long. Gonçalves. Rowe. Now Soares. Revs content. They've been looking long, trying to use their speed to outrun that high Chivas back line. Avila given a bump there Off on the left, Donnie Smith showing he can go forward. They're letting everyone fly. If the back line says you're going to give us the middle open, we'll look long. Here in the 19th minute, a 1-0 New England lead on the 11th minute free kick by Wynn. McNamara battling Alston. On back to Shuttleworth. Soares trying to deliver this with pinpoint precision. Fagundes camps under it to Bunbury. Look at that first touch, and the second is a beauty. And it's a 2-0 New England lead in the 20th. Well, excited doesn't begin to describe what Teal Bunbury hopes will be a revitalized restart in New England. What a fine sequence. Again, it's been long to be strong. And it's Soares. This time Fagundes, that excellent first touch by Bunbury. And then calmly slotting it in with the left boot. 2-0. So 2 goals in 9 minutes. Impressive stuff for New England, as they've looked fluifluous with that group going forward here. So Avila, who's had his struggles there at the right back roll, and now Jackson slipped coming out. Scuffs it down anyway and rolls it out to Lockheed. He's been in MLS before, and this is a familiar group in front of him, although not these players individually. It was with New England. Only got previous time in 2006. Was a reserve player mostly during 05 through 07. Then a long run in the A-League of Australia with the Wellington Phoenix, the new left back for Chivas USA. Well, some early goals here in this first half, halfway through. Win, and then the prettiest one of the day from Bunbury, who's looking to get behind again on Baptiste. 2 battles. And Fregoso spreads it to the wing. Rosales. Probably looked the most definitive of any of the goats in the attack when he's had his touches. There's a hard collision on the tackle going in on Rowe. Freed up, and Gonçalves. Not only his addition, but being the veteran presence to help some of those younger defenders last year. Tries to be ambitious with a crossfield pass there. Smith trying to swallow it on some crosstown traffic coming through. It'll end with a Chivas throw. It's a good time to remind you, do you have what it takes to run an MLS team? Test your skills by playing MLS Fantasy Soccer Manager. On a run here toward the byline, Fondy's going to earn a corner kick for the Goats. Game is fun and free to play. Visit MLSsoccer.com/fantasy to learn more. 2 goals in 9 minutes for New England. Third and final game of the day. Cloud cover taking away what is usually a very scenic sunset here in Tucson, as Rosales' corner kick from Gonçalves is played away. Back to the Argentine. Now steps on the gas as he got it back from Fregoso. Earned another corner kick with it. That goes off of Mullins. Fragoso back into the mix. On the run across, Lockheed knows he's got a throw upcoming. Of course, that Chivas defense, normally in the central pairing, knows they'll have Carlos Bocanegra. He's here, just dressed tonight. There's Minda back to Andrew Jean-Baptiste. 22 starts last year for Portland. Sent over just before the preseason got underway for Jorge Villafaña, formerly Jorge Flores. He was converted to the outside back role and being used there by Caleb Porter. Timbers were here earlier in the month. Now they're hosting their own tournament this weekend. 2-0 New England lead, 25 minutes in. It's Rosales playing creator again. Fondi, McNamara, and it's found by El Cubo, and he's brought one back. Sitting there on the volley and poaches home. The first of the night for the Goats, 2-1. Well, we had to sit through almost 190 minutes of stalemate soccer today, but the goal's finally coming. The sun has gone down and the scores have gone up. 2-1 in the 26th as Torres, a torrid stretch. When he joined Chivas in July, through 15 starts, he scored 7 times, including 2 braces. But once again, the finish, as you see there, calmly slotted Rosales. You had McNamara and Fondi playing roles. It was Fondi who had that touch back across. And it is 2-1. Well, the early goal from Wynn off that free kick has opened things up. 2 more have been added on in the last 15 minutes. Smith. On in for Wynn. Gonçalves. There's Minda careening on. Wynn. There's Minda, got that boot out. Mullins fouled, advantage given. Alston is behind. Alston with Jackson. Fly swatting it down. Little half jump there as Mullins just now getting back to his feet. There's those cement boots of Minda. There's the Ecuadorian. A component of hard-nosed players that Chivas needs in the middle wasn't there because he missed 16 games last season, battling groin and hamstring problems. This is floated to Larry Jackson, making a big stop and preventing a 3rd goal right there moments ago on Alston. Ball is out of play for Avila's throw. New England got off to the 2-0 lead. Torres scoring in the 25th. It's Wynn. Mullins. That's ski balls off a leg. Fragoso. Back pass with Bunbury already pushing Avila. Tough to make a play there. Got it back to midfield, but now Rowe was rolling into the right back of the team in white, and foul called. Well, new season, New Jersey. The Revolution have a new primary kit for the 2014 year. Your first chance to see it is Tuesday, March 4th. Join the Revs players at Royale Boston for a special fashion show and the jersey launch. For more information, visit revolutionsoccer.net. It's funny, jersey reveals are next week as Mullins is through quickly, and Jackson, caught off guard by that, but somehow palms it out. Mullins got on through. Chivas not set as it's sent away. But the official jersey reveal for the majority of teams is next week, although it's funny to look around social media and see some possible leaks lurking around. Oh, the anticipation, the season just 2 weeks away. Of course, these days, it's not really much of an off-season anymore, is it? Those re-entry drafts come up quickly, the waiver draft, acquisitions being made a couple weeks after MLS Cup. Then you've got the Super Draft early in January. And then camp begins just a week or two later. Closing down on the 2014 preseason. Desert Diamond Cup here at the North Stadium, Kino Sports Complex. Fondi offside on the ball from Avila. We've played 30 minutes here in our third and final game of round 2 of round robin play, with New England leading Chivas 2-1. Chicago 2-0 over FC Tucson to start the day. A goal with 20 minutes left from Deshaun Brown, leading Colorado to the victory. 1-0 over Salt Lake. Gonna have a substitution here. Kellen Rowe will come off. Seems okay. May just be a swap to get new bodies on the field. We're going to see Daigo Kobayashi, who was last with Vancouver last season. Had a couple of goals. Japanese midfielder here in camp with the Revs. Steps on in for Kellen Rowe after a half hour. Here's Bunbury. Mullins. Alston knifing in with Minda there and using a good box out to earn the goal kick for his keeper, Larry Jackson. Bundy's got a very wide frame. Good target to pick out at 6'1". He gets into a lot of areas where the ball seems to be. Rosales is cut into the middle here as the pass from McNamara drifts across to space and taken back over by New England. Fagundes. Just a couple of good looks through the first 9 minutes. Wynn and Bunbury have the Revs goals. Kobayashi to Wynn. Japanese to Vietnamese in the heart of the park right now. And Wynn looks to pick out Mullins, who is calling for it. There's some confusion. Jackson all the way at the top of the area with Baptiste and Lockheed nearly colliding. They're not afraid, based on the success they've had, to play that ball over the top. There's Gonçalves nearly stumbling into his own bodies. Teammates on the sideline as he launched it down out of play. Well, every day is game day with MLS Live. Watch hundreds of live and archive games on your phone, tablet, or computer. MLS Live. Visit live.mlssoccer.com for more information or to subscribe. Jair Marufo with Rosales fouled in the middle. Apolinar and Eduardo Mariscal are linesmen with the flags. Drew Fisher, who was the center official for the first game, is the fourth official here in the nightcap. Another triple header coming your way here from Tucson on Wednesday, the 26th. Set that line up before night's end, as that is high and wide from Rosales. Closest to it was Gonsalves, but he got out of the way in the end, and Shuttleworth just over 10 minutes to play in the half as the goal kick. Fourth year of this preseason tournament. Before this stadium was built, they had it at High Corbett Field. The inaugural one in 2011. Here's McNamara with the build-up, steamrolling forward off of that goal kick. The flag up, though, for offside. FC Tucson, while they fielded a team for that event, they didn't compete in the PDL until 2012. Revs have been out here for a third consecutive season. Started the first part of their preseason in Bradenton, Florida. Smith. Fagundes. Long-looking lob. There's the goal scorer for Chivas, Torres. Acquired on loan from the parent club, Guadalajara, in July. Mullins. Good move inside on Lockheed and let it fly. Although Jackson had the post covered up. Very swift. Impressed with the movement in open spaces for Mullins so far. The Revs rookie, they feel, as many do, they got really one of the better drafts. And one that is, well, you could always say about the Super Draft, unknown. Might produce a player or two. Might find that diamond in the rough. But with the selections of McCarthy and Steve Newman from Georgetown, he's shown he's been battle tested in his college days. I feel like really made the best of it. Kobayashi can't win that tackle against Minda, who stays on it. Lockheed. On the run down, it soars. Caldwell. Working it wide to Alston. There's Fondy's pressure. Shuttleworth takes an extra touch with the dangerous Torres lurking. Bunbury can't believe that he was called for offside there coming from that position, as Mullins had shielded off Lockheed. Here's Burling. Kind of hesitated on that first touch and win. Full burner mode. Goes at him. And then Jackson. Torres. Holding it up well. Rosales, though. Pass falling harmlessly, and now the long look out again for Bunbury. Battling Baptiste and Burling. Bumped away in the end, though, from Jackson. Minda. Going around clockwise, and Fondy. With Rosales making that cross-field run just out of his reach, and the poke away by Gonsalves. Minda. A little time on the ball here to pick out Fondy, who is offside for a second time in this first half. Bunbury's fantastic goal, the difference right now. Game in minute 20. bolstered New England to a 2-0 lead. Here is the new 10 shirt for the Revs. Alston to the middle for Caldwell, and now Soares will retreat back to Shuttleworth. 9 shutouts last year for the 26-year-old, including 4 straight in a stretch from April to early May. He's trying to solidify the one spot. Larry Jackson just hoping to earn a spot on the roster. Sending it long, the Chivas keeper. A week with a lot of talk about licensing new logos and perhaps a name change. And then Thursday, the sale announced that Major League Soccer had acquired Chivas USA. We'll see what the future holds. We're a team that's trying to earn their keep in that LA area. Coming in 05 and a few bright seasons atop the Western Conference regular season when they were under Preki. Now just trying to defend out of this surge again, and it's a brilliant one with Jackson coming out on win. Caldwell sent that scorching back, and the Revs with 2 impressive buildups inside the final 5 minutes now of the first half. Full speed ahead, Lee Wynn. Larry Jackson showed some more confidence as he's made a couple of saves and came out there to disrupt what could have been goal number 3. Ball behind Donnie Smith. There's Gonçalves all the way forward into the midfield as he commits that foul. And there's the booking from Jair Marufo. Well, that's officially the 42nd minute. McNamara trying to wedge it around Alston. Fragoso. That's Rosales, always the man with the plan. To run on through on that ball from Minda. Chivas has had some decent combinations. For that final piece, coming to the game more after that Torres goal. There's a foul back near midfield. Gonçalves trying to curl that all the way along to the sideline for Mullins. McNamara cut that off, and now it's the long run of Cubo Torres. Where he'll sprint 30 yards, and in the end, Soares is able to shepherd that ball away back for a Shuttleworth goal kick. Chivas through this preseason hasn't been a club to bring on wholesale changes. We'll see what waits ahead in the second half. Going in different units. Could possibly see that with New England. Nearly won it on a set piece Wednesday night against Salt Lake. In front here by a goal in the final minute of the first stanza. Gonçalves, Wynn, Minda. Alston almost got it back, but it's McNamara now. 20th pick in the draft. Second-team All-American in his final season at Clemson. Still on it, trying to shoulder off Caldwell. They did that, but couldn't hold possession. One minute of stoppage. See Shuttleworth taking his time. You go back to the previous game, it wasn't a bad back pass. It was the lingering of the Rapids keeper, Joe Nasco. He was holding it so long, Kevin started a word, an indirect free kick at the end. No caution, just at the discretion. So it led to a little bit of an adventure at the end of the game, which the Rapids held on to win. 1 minute of first half stoppage time here. Things have slowed up a little, but still a very entertaining first half between the two clubs. Jackson on a nod back from Burling. The final kick of the ball here to commence halftime in Tucson. The fans appreciate it. I'm sure the eyes watching this Desert Diamond Cup in 2014 all across the land appreciated that sequence of 45 that gives New England a 2-1 lead at the break over Chivas USA. This free kick from Lee Wynn started things off from just outside the arc. They were going long and direct over the top at the Chivas central defense. After a couple of Fagundes misses, that free kick led to the opening score. And this is Fagundes on the other end of a long ball. A beautiful 1-2 touch of Bunbury, acquired earlier this week and essentially his Rebs preseason debut. Scores to give the 2-0 lead, but then Rosales setting this up 5 minutes later to find El Cubo Torres. And Goats fans hope he can continue his scoring spree from a year ago. It's New England 2, Chivas USA 1 here at the half of the 2014 Desert Diamond Cup. More coming up on MLSsoccer.com.
Contestants are Porsche of Tucson and Mercedes-Benz of Tucson, all part of the locally owned and operated Chapman Automotive Tucson. Chapman Automotive is a proud sponsor of the Desert Diamond Cup and soccer in Tucson. Visit them today at chapmantucson.com for the best selection of new and used automobiles.
Back to commence the second half here in Tucson. Neil Sika with you, our great crew from MLSsoccer.com. New England leading Chivas USA 2-1. A couple of changes we'll tell you about in just a second. For each team is Donnie Smith, Jose Gonçalves, AJ Soares, Kevin Alston. No differentiating there on the back line for the Revs. Caldwell working in the middle with Lee Wynn. Daigo Kabayashi came on for Kellen Rowe in the 30th minute. Wynn and Bunbury the goals. As Fondy starts McNamara. And Rosales with Chivas getting that goal from Cubo Torres in the 25th to bring one back. Carlos Alvarez is on here off the left side. Avila, Baptiste, Burling have stayed on. Lockheed as well. Alvarez is in the middle with Minda. Also made a change in goal, Chivas USA. Get you that in a second. As Shuttleworth getting it long, Kobayashi. Torres. Rosales. Avila. Looking for Torres. There's Soares. Flying through is Minda. Rips that away from Wynn. Now wide to Fondi. Got into some good space in the first half. In that bruiser mold, kind of in that bust your chops. A Lenhart or a Gordon. San Jose as Fagundes tries to scale that on through. Trevor Spangenberg is the new Chivas keeper, replacing Larry Jackson. Spangenberg. Tries to organize his D in front of him. It's Mullins. And he runs into Andrew Jean-Baptiste. A foul given. A little outside this distance the last time around for Wynn. Kobayashi let go by the Whitecaps at the conclusion of last season. He clunks that off the forehead of Avila. Was not had good luck tonight, and that stings. Down he goes. And the training staff to take a look. The 3 goals came in a 14-minute span in the first half. The free kick from Wynn. Best goal of the day from Bunbury in the 20th. And then the 25th. Eric Torres for Chivas. Avila up on his feet. Second season here for the San Diego native at 26 years of age. Actually went on trial with Guadalajara, the parent club, and missed 3 games last summer in June. The big bald forward up top for New England who has come on is Marvin Ogunjimi. Ogunjimi, the Belgian, has spent time not only in his native country but in the Eredivisie and in the second division in Spain, most recently with Mallorca. 3 years there. He's 26. He's got 7 caps with the national team, which many are keeping their eye on come the summer in the World Cup in Brazil. 5 minutes into the second half, so Spangenberg, Ogunjimi, And here is Alvarez. Those are some of the new additions on the field in a 2-1 game. Gonçalves working that on back. Minda. Fondy's run cut off by Smith. Rosales blatantly holding out his jersey, and he's tugging away. Donnie Smith nearly got away with a grasp. Roll out for the Shuttleworth goal kick. His counterpart, Spangenberg, who's now in goal for Chivas. Valparaiso, Indiana. He went to Missouri State. So you get to look here in the preseason. No Dan Kennedy. At least as of right now, that seems to be the plan. Rosales trying to give New England a little bit of the medicine they gave the Goats in the first half. Looking long. Carry him down toward our broadcast position. They're at the North Stadium on the final game of the day. What a ball. Rosales, Torres. Oh, two kept aside, but not on the second effort. Fondy, McNamara, and Alvarez all in the mix there, and it's tied at 2 on the 54th. But it starts with an exquisite pass from Mauro Rosales. Well, it's Alvarez who appears to be claiming it. But look at this pass, Rosales, or Torres cutting it around, cutting across. And there is Alvarez to finish it off. Second pick last year in the draft. When Chalice came in, there was all this talk about their approach in the draft, but they went right after this guy and ended up playing in 29 games as a rookie. 26 of them starts. He scored twice, and he's tied it here. So the Revs off to that fast start. And not 10 minutes into the second half, it's Alvarez tying it up. Off the sequence started by Rosales. Shuttleworth, one fine job to make the save on the Torres bid for 2. But then all Goats around that rebound. It's Mullins making a run to the byline, walking the tightrope and scatters it across. Or it's Avila who's back in business after that free kick to the face. Guides it out for a corner. Revs have 5 shots on goal to Chivas' 2. But a pretty good percentage as they've scored on both of those. Kobayashi's corner with Gonçalves up. And now the break started. Fondy. McNamara, who began collegiately at Brown before finishing at Clemson. Got Lockheed to work it back to the middle, where Donnie Smith has drifted inward. England set to meet Chicago in the round 3 of finales as they pour forward and have the numbers. Alston has it broken up by Avila. The Belgian international there to try an effort at number 2 on the rebound, but the flag was up for offside. The second touch, that is. Ogunjimi on a sequence that left the numbers and Chivas exposed at the back. An open game with 2 per side here through 57 minutes. But back to the final round of games, which will be Wednesday the 26th. To you on MLSsoccer.com. At the same times, you'll have Chivas starting the day off at 3 Eastern against Colorado. New England and Chicago to follow, and Salt Lake and Tucson to wrap things up. Taking a look at A.J. Soares here. A new boot, perhaps. Maybe a little bit more, walking it off. That's going to get someone up off that New England bench. There you can see Jay Heaps. Taking the club he played for to the playoffs for the first time last season. And so Soares will give way. Looks like Darius Barnes will have his introduction in with 32 minutes remaining. So he's in for Soares. Alvarez's follow-up on the Torres shot, tying things at 2 on the 54th. Spangenberg coming forward. Launching that to midfield, Fondy. Here's McNamara. He's got a good engine on him. Let it fly, and Shuttleworth saw that dipping and got over to make the stop. Now starts it off to Smith. Flying quickly to midfield, around Rosales. Trying to hurdle Avila, who nicked it out of play. These teams have went end to end since the very beginning tonight. Alston. There's Avila. His clearance squared off. McNamara. Torres. Lockheed has that deflected away. Smith playing it out of the clutter of the middle. There's Alvarez. Grew up in East LA. Mullins tries to swing it in the path of Fagundes. It's been quiet here ever since he helped set up that Bunbury goal. Sideline, that'll tuck out for a Chivas toss. Fondy battling Barnes. Going into that center back role for Soares. Played wide. Darius Barnes, in his 6th year, all with New England. Go back to that 09 season, he played every minute. 2,700 in total. It's been minimal since then. Got action in both playoff games because Soares was hurt. or rather it was Alston hurt with the hamstring. And it prevented him from playing in the playoffs. After the foul, it's Rosales, a free kick, and it's Burling got his head to it, speared out of there, and then Kobayashi cleans it up. Got in the vicinity of Shuttleworth. Here's Alvarez. Now Chivas USA with somewhat of a surge here. A good start to the second half. Inside of a half hour remaining. Fondi. Last year, this time with the LA Blues, in the third division, had 10 goals. And here in minute 62, you'll see full complement of substitutions for New England as they're ready to empty the bench, bring on some new bodies. Mullins is going to leave, Caldwell, Alston, Fagundes, Wynn. Steve Newman coming on from Georgetown. There's a look at Josimar Sanchez. He's a supplemental pick out of Connecticut last year. Alex Sundley is on. Sundley out of Cal. He was a pick in the second round as they look for the long ball to Ogunjimi. And it's shepherded back to Spangenberg. Minda still out there. Here's Newman. He was the fourth pick in the draft. Out of Georgetown. All Big East for his 4 seasons there. So Barnes now has a back line of O'Brien Woodbine, who's the left back. Jamaican signed last August. Did not appear in a senior game. He's the left back. Barnes is in the middle. Up and over the top. The flag is up on the offside. Being told that Sundley and Sanchez switching jerseys. Josimar Sanchez is now wearing 44 and 48 is Sundley. Jerry Benson, Honduran international, also making an appearance out there up top with Ogunjimi. Paulo Del Piccolo. Another introduction for New England. Dimitri Mbongo as well, and he's got it now. 3 goals and 4 assists and 3 red cards last season. Here's Benson flying away. Jean-Baptiste back to break it up. Good tackle. And it's cleared on out. Well, the fans appreciate that fine work. So you have Benson up top, and now it appears that Jean-Baptiste is cramping off that fine challenge. Benson, Ogunjimi, and Mbongo. The trio of forwards for New England with 25 minutes left in a 2-2 affair. Woodbine, Barnes, Sundley was a midfielder at Cal. He's in the central defending role right now. And Sanchez out of Connecticut, the right back. Newman in the middle. Kobayashi joining him there. And Del Piccolo completing that new group out there for the Revs. Sperling, let's see him talking aside. Here's that fine tackle by Jean-Baptiste. Well, it was in that process. Great slide on Benson. Spangenberg in goal. Missouri State product punting it away. Torres. Sunley up there defending. Benson on the chase with McNamara. Both these two have a point apiece. Chivas with their 1-1 tie with FC Tucson. New England, their scoreless affair with Salt Lake. The rest of the four in the group, Chicago has 6 points, Colorado with 3, Salt Lake and Tucson each have a point. Like the final day of round robin play on Wednesday, intriguing. Now Matthew Fani, this kid runs well. Gets into good positions. He's going to come off here. And he is replaced here by Leandro Barrera. He's a trialist. Or actually was given that way, but the release also put him on loan from Argentinos Juniors. So here he is, 4-year player, 23, and scored 3 goals in 42 games with Argentinos Juniors. That shot from distance deflected, and Chivas to the corner flag, where Rosales is the man to do the honors. This attack has started to find its groove a bit, even though it's been peppered in and out. Had some good surges here in the second half. If the rumors were to come true, and Luke Moore, former Aston Villa player, among others, were to join. Quietly give the Goats a formidable group up there. Woodbine. Here's Mbongo. Strong and good target. Up in that attack is Barnes. Sanchez. And now Kobayashi. Del Piccolo. He was taken in the waiver draft after a failed run with Montreal in his rookie season. He's out of Louisville. Sanchez. With the ball walking on the chalk. Couldn't keep it in play. Lockheed to throw in. 20 minutes left. From an entertainment standpoint, surely the best game of the day. Here in Tucson, Rosales. Avila. Draws 3, squared, Alvarez, Torres, good turn. Still managed to find that shot that Del Piccolo blocked. Mbongo. Avila. Salamandering his way to the byline. Torres. Got a forehead on it. Shuttleworth waiting. Del Piccolo. Kobayashi's back pass. Sanchez. Saw that avenue closing quickly. Barrera and Alvarez there. Rufo holds things up after the foul on Chivas. Well, every day is game day with MLS Live. Watch hundreds of live and archive games on your phone, tablet, or computer with MLS Live. Visit live.mlssoccer.com for more information or to subscribe. Del Piccolo. Healed ball from Ogunjimi. Cut off in the middle, and that springs the circuitry off to Torres. Rolls outside the area and the foul given. And a free kick as the Goats have been good in this second half. Torres nearly made it 2. Alvarez followed to tie it. That was in the 54th, and they've still come in waves for much of this second stanza. And playing with much of the same personnel while New England's made some wholesale changes. But an energy they didn't have in the first 45. At least not until late. Their set piece man, Rosales, bending a beauty in. Oh, that was sensational. And it's 3-2 Chivas. Torres drew the foul. And then watch this spectacular smash. A casualty really in Seattle of cost-cutting measures, and the folks in SoCal who follow this club going to love to see him play on a regular basis. Forces the turnover here. Alvarez. More numbers forward. Barrera. Swinging it back on in. There's Sunley to kick on out. So Rosales in the 73rd minute. Chivas has scored 3 unanswered goals since the Revs led 2-0. Sunley going in a little high on McNamara, and the foul is called. Actually, that preceded that just a couple of yards away. Either way, another free kick just a couple of yards outside of where Rosales bent it in before. 15 minutes left. And the Goats, in their own right, have had a pretty good preseason. Won twice and tied once. Beat Salt Lake and Colorado prior to coming here in the Las Vegas Pro Soccer Challenge. That was in the middle of the month. That free kick right at Shuttleworth. Woodbine continuing his run up that near wing. Deposit it out. And Bongo. Good work using his strength along that line. On back. Sanchez slipped. Kobayashi wide. Benson. Daigo Kobayashi. Little 1-2 with Newman. Tailed it there. Avila. Only as far as Woodbine's convergence. Now in Bongo battles. Avila somehow worked it out of there. stay with New England after their persistence. There's Woodbine's cross off Minda. And once again, Rosales. Del Piccolo. Sunley. Sanchez. Torres trying to track that down. Shuttleworth. Del Piccolo. Good recovery just to get a second touch on that to Barnes. Because the mullet-haired McNamara was stalking the area. Avila. Adjusted to the speed and pace at that right back roll. Much better here in the second half. Rosales. Over the top. New England's going to make another substitution. Zach Harivo, Academy kid, U18 player out of Brookline. Is about to come on. '78th minute. Burling on the chase. That will be a corner awarded. So New England trying now to tie things up. They led 2-0 after 20 minutes. Chivas getting one back before the end of the half, and then both here in the second half. Alvarez in the 54th, and then another whale of a goal from Rosales. We've had two fine pieces of scoring tonight, with Bunbury's goal in the first half and then that free kick by Rosales. So here's Harivo. Comes on for Kobayashi. The Academy kid. Had a fine run with the U18s and the U16s. He's in the US U15 pool, or was in 2011, just 18. Here he is coming to close down on Torres. Tough assignment, does well with it. Newman. Here is Harivo. He was born in Japan. Off to Mbongo. Burling, looked like he got away with a blatant shove there. Or else it's Newman going down far too easy. Torres is cramping. 10 minutes remaining. Well, Revs fans, season tickets on sale now. Get your seat to the biggest games of 2014 and save money in the process. For more information, call 877-GET-REVS or log on revolutionsoccer.net. The advantage of playing on that turf too, speeding the game up. Using that to their advantage. New England was 8-5-4 at home last year. Should be a fun season. And unlike last year with Chivas, season of unknown, even guys on the roster a week before kicking things off that first weekend in March. At least with Wilmer Cabrera, there's going to be some stability among the coaching staff. The change of ownership back to the league's hands. Some exciting attacking talent. Who knows? Ogunjimi got a crack at it there off a few white shirts. Torres has been taken off to the touchline. He's waiting for his clearance to come back on. Here on the 81st, All nip to paw there. And there's the Mexican forward back on. We will have all three on Wednesday here on MLSsoccer.com. Final day of round robin play, and then the 3 championship games, if you will, a week from tonight. Barrera trying to glide down that wing in front of the benches. And Jean-Baptiste in a tough spot there. He's able to work it only towards midfield, but it's out of play. Chivas USA, they'll open their regular season against Chicago. That'll be Sunday, March 9th at the StubHub Center. Still an unbalanced setup among the two conferences. Only play the West if you're an Eastern team once, and vice versa. That's really anchored up the intensity the final weeks of the season when you're playing your conference opponents. Those last few spots up for grabs in the playoff race, all the more intriguing. Chivas foul and a free kick here. It's Newman, who at Georgetown was a 2-time All-American. Low dart here. Del Piccolo battling Rosales. Stepping in Torres. Barrera with Newman guiding it on back to Sanchez. Louisville product Del Piccolo. That got deflected. Harivo had it briefly. Rosales got thumped. A little bit of a hip check there. Another sub for Chivas USA. With Cubo Torres, very solid performance. Goal, almost had 2. Earned the foul that led to the Rosales free kick and go-ahead goal. That was 10 minutes ago. He'll exit here on the 84th minute. Gives way for Chris Turpak, who's a rookie out of Houston Baptist. 40th pick in the draft in the 3rd round. First team All-WAC performer in 2013. Oh, Rosales is back up. And in the meantime, Mindo went to the ground. Now he's being looked at. Another guy that if Chivas is going to do anything in 2014, he'll have to be a part of it. Consistently, that is. Walk it off with 5 minutes left. So if things hold here, you'd have Chicago topping the group with 6 points. Chivas would move into the 2nd spot with 4. Colorado right behind with 3. And then Salt Lake, FC Tucson, and New England with 1. But Revs still have 5 minutes and change to find something. 3 unanswered for the SoCal Soccer Club. 2 coming in the 2nd half. Rosales, big reason why. He busts his tail there to break it up defensively. Barrera. Argentino Juniors to Turpak. Trying to cut that down after he couldn't hold it. Looking for the third touch. McNamara gives chase on Mbongo, who hammers that with a touch of an elephant on through. Goal kick for Spangenberg. Minda, who took that knock, is now going to take a seat, not risk anything further. And Marky Delgado, Glendora, California native, makes his appearance. Made 16 of them last season, had an assist. Also missed the tail end of the year after a left meniscus tear closed this season in early September. We're in the 88th. Tierpak, Alvarez. Staying persistent and took it away and going for that top corner. It flares on by. That was tough to pull off, but impressive nonetheless. He took it away from Sunley. Youngster out of Cal. Shuttleworth. Harivo fouled in the middle. New England looking to show some urgency right now. 2 minutes plus second half stoppage time remains. Bongo. Barnes. Rosales, Del Piccolo. Can't win it, Tierpak, and gives it away. That flies high and wide as it's taken to the middle. 3 minutes of second half stoppage time being told as we hit the final minute of the 90. Going wide off that deflection leads to this New England corner. Woodbine going to throw it in. It sailed across from Newman. Last off a goat. FC Tucson supporters, the locals, they've been here all day through 3 games. And well attended on the second day of action, which commenced on Wednesday. Stop and go Barrera. Revs that engine down to the byline, now takes it to the corner flag. Marky Delgado, he was hungry to make something happen. Gave up possession. Newman, Sanchez, Benson. He's had that one run. It was broken up by Andrew Jean-Baptiste as Barrera is offside. Well, mentioning if things hold, it'll make a really interesting matchup. First game of the day on Wednesday for 2 teams looking in to get to the top 2 spots. It's playing essentially the championship. Chivas and Colorado are 2 and 3, and they meet in that first game. And you've got New England and Chicago to follow, and Salt Lake and Tucson to wrap up the day. All here on MLSsoccer.com. Avila hustles well for it. Tierpak, McNamara. There's a player here for Chivas who's quietly had a nice game. 17 in white on the ball right now. Looking for Tierpak. Sun Lee shepherds it out. Played 1 minute of second half stoppage time. On in, Harivo, Ogunjimi, the Belgian, on the push, and Bongo on the nutmeg. But Burling right with him. That's a big battle. And down goes the central defender. In the end, he's going to get the brunt of the fall and the call on him. And so New England gets what they want, a free kick in the final third in the final minute of second half stoppage time. A point will drastically shift around the complexion of the group if they can find a way to tie things up. But Newman's ball right at Tierpak. And then almost whiffed away by Barrera. Good hustle down by the byline, and now McNamara springs Tierpak. On the race to get back is Newman. Tierpak losing some steam and will work it inside. Normally a situation where you take it to the corner flag. Young guy still trying to impress. Make the team, but hold-up play is just the same, and that'll do it. Chivas USA with 3 unanswered goals after trailing 2-0 after 20 minutes. And that man, Mauro Rosales, with the game winner in the 73rd on a gorgeous free kick on the left side of the penalty area. El Cubo Torres scoring the first. Nearly had the second. Alvarez tied it on his rebound. And now it's Rosales shaking hands as Chivas the victors. Scoring started with Wynn in the 11th minute on that free kick. New England playing some direct balls going right at the Chivas central defense. Another long ball over the top, which Fagundes finds, and a beautiful first touch from Bunbury to tee it up for his left-footed volley, his first goal as a Rev, preseason or not. It's 2-0, but here, 5 minutes later, Torres with Fondi and Rosales combining that sequence to lead to the goal, cut it in half at 2-1. And then Rosales, the architect of another fine pass. Great save, Shuttleworth on the Torres shot. Alvarez there to tie things at 2. That was in the 54th. And then after a free kick earned by Torres, here's the game winner. Majestic. And Chivas USA holds on for the 3-2 victory. So they go to 4 points now, the Goats. They sit in second here at the Desert Diamond Cup after 2 rounds. The final round comes your way on Wednesday, and we'll have coverage for you starting at 1 o'clock Mountain, 3 o'clock Eastern, and then following in that order, just like today. With the first game of the day, a very intriguing one for that spot up for grabs, as everyone chasing the Chicago Fire, who won 2-0 earlier. A 1-0 Colorado win puts them in third. They get their first points as they defeat Real Salt Lake. Salt Lake, FC Tucson, and New England with 1 point after 2 games. So MLS Soccer will have the coverage of round 3 coming up Wednesday, February 26th. And then the championship games with the championship final coming your way a week from tonight on Saturday, March 1st. But we hope you enjoyed all the action today from Southern Arizona here at the North Stadium Kino Sports Complex. Thanks to Dave Keevil and his great crew at MLSsoccer.com. Thank you for watching. This is Neil Sika saying for the final time in this third game of the night, Chivas USA 3, New England 2. We'll talk to you Wednesday from Tucson. Good night.